Welcome back, everybody. We are here. My name is Percapita, and I will be your host for the event this evening. I'm looking forward to seeing all of our racers heading around these tracks, having a good time. I hope you have a wonderful time. 3 races from all 4 of our participants, and they are going to essentially add up their times. Whoever has the lowest time ends up the victor of the overall tournament. So we will have Solo Freighter versus Airsci versus Jan 58, Yan 58 possibly, versus this one, Fire. And we will be seeing those 4 racers face off against one another 3 times in a row. Looks like we also do have our race just about to get started here once again. So we're going to wait for our racers to X to get ready rather. And once again, for this first set of races, it looks like we are going to have the perspective of Marathos here in their Merlin. So we are going to be seeing that perspective of the race. Once we get into our high-speed class, we do have 2 more racers who are going to be giving us their perspective as well. This, once again, is the perfect time to advertise in the future. If you want to participate in our tournaments and you're not feeling like the best racer, you are always welcome to join us as a camera crew, as long as you can stream along with us. That'd be awesome. And here they go. Here they take off. Soon we will have the ability to take a look at our rankings, and currently just enjoy the view of the the Merlin backing up into space here. The Hull E with some commercials for racing teams on it. That Pelkey, that is a fantastic idea. That is one of the reasons why I want the Hull E, so that I can join with a racing team, just be their truck driver. That is what I want to do. So if you're hiring any racing teams, PENTA, hey, yeah. So thanks, Barack. That is not a comment that I'm going to read, but one that I'm going to enjoy in my own head. Looks like here we have This on Fire is heading through the central region of this course. They are second right now. It looks like there is one individual ahead of them. And who is that? Airsci Ivan. Ivan taking the lead relatively early in this tournament, and it looks like they are heading through thanks for the cinematic view is great. I wish that we could see the names while we're doing it. Airsci Ivan is still in the lead here on Rickard Memorial. It looks like our 3rd place contender just ran into some problems. You saw that jittering of their brackets, the targeting reticles to indicate that they may have crashed into a building, but not enough to explode. We have not had that indication there. Airsci Ivan heading through with 1 minute, 23 seconds, 96 milliseconds on their first lap of this race. And remember, we do have 3 races coming up from these participants, so we are going to be adding their scores together. Whoever is the lowest is going to be our victor. So definitely good to make sure you're paying attention to everyone. This on Fire is coming through in 2nd place. Solo Freighter is about to pass through and end their first lap, and they are at 1 minute 52 seconds. So Airsci Ivan does have quite a commanding lead. It looks like there may have been some challenges for our other racers getting ready there. And unfortunately, our 4th racer appears to just not currently be in the running all that much. Here are the red brackets of Airsci Ivan coming back through towards the beginning of the end circuit of this race. And let's go back and take a look here at Solo Freighter, who is unfortunately still falling a little bit back, but it looks like they are starting to make up just a little bit of time. Maybe moving towards that second, but unfortunately Solo Freighter taking that risk a little bit too far, crashing into that building, and looks like they are losing even more time from their from trying to catch up. The end of lap 2 for our current leader, Solo Freighter, once again running into some problems there in the middle, but Airsci Ivan is really pulling ahead. It looks like they may have, had about the same length of time for their second lap there, 1 minute 23 seconds for their best lap. ESP works good for the camera, probably. We will have more cameras coming up later on as we move into the next series. There comes the end of lap 2. Solo Freighter, though, still 3rd place, but still pushing on, trying to get the best time that they can here. And hopefully they'll actually manage to finish the race. As long as you finish and get a time, you're still on the scoreboard, and it's not like you're going to be trying to make up 2 full races worth, or 1 full race worth of missed time if they do end up on that scoreboard. Now only a Reliant or Prospector for less obstructed view. Yes, a Reliant would be nice to have as an observer. Of course, later on we will be having... and Jan B52, unfortunately, looks like they were unable to start this race. They didn't seem to manage to get into position of starting. They are here. They are in the game. But it looks like they were unable to get started. Airside Ivan coming around for the end of their 3rd lap. This is going to be the end of the race for them. Let's see what time they are going to get to. Will they improve their lap time, or will they end up at the same point? Is this on fire coming around to the end of their 3rd lap as well? And Solo Freighter also on their 3rd. It looks like this on fire may have... let's not leave the boundary. Looks like this on fire may have run into some complications there, crashing into a building. And I believe that this should be coming up to the end of their 3rd lap. Yes, there is Solo Freighter coming in also towards the end of their 3rd lap. So possibly 2nd, I believe 3rd lap. It looks like they're going to finish for sure. So they will be in the rankings for the scores. There comes this on fire. Heading into their end. They just suicided and left the match. They are going to be ready for their next race relatively soon. Unfortunately, that means that we did not see their time, so hopefully we will manage to get that. But we do have the Airside Ivan with 4 minutes 22 seconds. Let's bring up that. Let's try to bring up that set of scores again. And here we have, yes, only Airside Ivan unfortunately able to finish this time at 4 minutes 22 seconds and 88 milliseconds. Solo Freighter coming in 3rd because we did not actually get the finish time for our other competitor because they unfortunately were not here at the end of the race. So hopefully we have somebody else with their time. There is a ballista over there in the corner of the screen. That's okay. Sometimes you just want to race in a ballista. This is the open class tournament. We don't want to be having our viewers discriminating against our racers' choice in vehicles for flying. Who knows, maybe they'll strap themselves onto one of those rockets in the back and launch themselves off using their ballista. That is a very possible result here. Who really knows? Everybody is ready, even Yen B58 in our ballista, and 4 seconds we're going to be having this race taking off, and here we go. Taking off from the start, it looks like we do have... Oh, that was a very excellent view of that anvil arrow turning over onto its side as it zipped away into the distance. Hopefully soon we're going to be having a nice little view of everybody. And do we think that we're going to have a repeat of last time? Do we think that it's going to be, once again, our current leader, Airside Ivan, taking the lead, currently in the lead. Solo Freighter moving up into 2nd place for now, so maybe they will be having a nice little comeback here. So we'll see how that works out and see what goes on there with them as we move forward into the remainder of this tournament. We're going to take a quick glance over here. Who do we have there? There's Airside Ivan coming around back towards the end of this 1st lap. Definitely Airside Ivan in the lead, but right behind them looks like Solo Freighter is making up some time. This does look much closer than that last one. Perhaps Airside Ivan just had a very, very good game before. Oh, and it looks like we will be having another camera angle for the future races, but for now, let's keep an eye out and look at how this anvil ballista is doing there. We got 3 anvils in this race. We got an anvil arrow, a 2nd anvil arrow, and an anvil ballista. And how are we doing? Who is our leader for the moment? Looks like This on Fire is taking up the 3rd place position, and it looks like Solo Freighter heading through into 1st with 1 minute 32 seconds, 51 milliseconds. Airside Ivan coming up in 2nd, and it looks like they may have just had a crash or some sort of incident. There we go. There is Airside Ivan finally coming through. It looked like they were going to come in much sooner after with 1:40.74 milliseconds. This on Fire 1 minute 45 seconds and 1 millisecond. So Airsai Ivan and Zis on Fire competing there, definitely in that second and third position, but then Solo Freighter really picking up the steam, trying to make up for their previous race where they didn't finish, but now they are out in the lead, really doing quite impressively here towards the middle section of this race. Here we do have Airsai Ivan coming around in second in that Anvil arrow. Every time I think of the arrow, I really just want to say Avro arrow. If you don't get that reference, please look up the Avro arrow, something that us Canadians are very, very proud of. But here we have it. They are facing off against one another. We have both of our leaders here very, very close together. More of a traffic issue than e-scooters. Absolutely. You don't want all those ballistas pushing around in the middle of traffic. And I guess, you know what? Cat 740, that is a very astute observation. That probably is exactly what happened in that start line there. And it looks like we do have Airsai Ivan and Solo Freighter really vying for control of this race. They were neck and neck. There goes... Ooh, and yep, definitely crashed into that ballista right there in the middle. Solo Freighter, 1 minute 32 seconds. Are they going to be able to improve that time on this lap? Well, it looks like they are not, but Airsai Ivan is right behind them. 1 minute 35 seconds. Ooh, that was a very nice synchronized turn there through that second ring of this third lap. They are neck and neck heading into the the middle section rather of this large figure eight. There is our third place Zis coming up, falling behind them. Looks like there may have been a little bit of a hang up there for Solo Freighter. They're starting to fall a little bit further back, with Airsai Ivan taking full advantage and heading out towards the front. Can it at least move? I don't think that it can move. I think that Anvil ballista is kind of just a dead weight, kind of a brick floating there in space. But here we have Airsai Ivan in the lead, Solo Freighter following them. Looks like they have a little ways to make up, a bit of time to make up there. But it looks like they did manage to make it up, with Airsai Ivan getting into a bit of a collision. They are both facing off against each other, trying to catch up. Who's it going to be? This is a really close race here. They're trading back and forth all the time. Zis on Fire also definitely in the running there, very, very close behind the other two. But here we have Solo Freighter and Airsai Ivan are coming towards the end. They are just trading that first place spot, just back and forth. And who is this coming out in first? Who was that? Let's take a look at the score sheet. Please. Solo Freighter committed suicide. They went through the finish line and then crashed directly into a building. And here we have it. Here we have Airsai Ivan was the eventual victor. So it looks like they are maintaining their lead and going to be really adding quite a lot to it. Really pretty much doubling their time. And hopefully none of our racers end up leaving. And yep, Zis on Fire did end up leaving without letting us see their time once again. So hopefully one of the other racers managed to see that. It was around 5 minutes. We'll say 5 minutes and 21 seconds. Because that is what it says up at the top of the screen. So I'm going to also take a screenshot of that, but I would hope that someone else would have that as well. So let's see if we can see what our times are here. This is a very close race between our two leaders. We have Airsai Ivan with 4:48.12 and Solo Freighter right behind with 4:49.06. Those are some very impressive times. 4:48.12 and 4:49.06. So let's take a look at that.
Over 50 years ago, we set out to help Origin Jump Works go farther. In that time, we learned things. A lot of things. With partners like Origin, we've gone farther than we ever could have imagined. Altama Hydrogen Plus. Where will it take you?
We're looking forward to seeing this race getting started between our racers. This is the third and final race of this open class beginning section. We're really hoping that in our next series, once we come back in our next set of races, 2 months from now, we will have Yan B58 back, and hopefully this ballista situation will be figured out so they can more effectively participate. Although, perhaps it could happen that our final lap, or all of our racers crash out of the game in their second or third lap, in which case we would have a victor from the ballista. So it is very possible that we still could have a winner walking away in that ballista. So we have our racers taking off. There is this on fire, just swooping down a little bit right after that first corner. I hope that they didn't get into a little collision there, but there is so much jostling and bumping at the beginning of every race that it's sort of unavoidable at some times. Yan B58 there in fourth place, sitting in their ballista, maybe even playing around and trying to use their missile lock-on system. Maybe they're getting some practice for some FPS action later on. And coming around into the central section of this race, we do have, is that Airside Ivan? I can't quite tell. This on fire is moving up into second, actually. They are starting to make up a little bit of time. Maybe this race is the one where they'll be able to make up some extra time, make up a little bit of bonus, and maybe even move into second place overall. Because remember, they are still in a similar position to what Solo Freighter is in now, with that did not finish in one of the races. There is Airside Ivan currently in lead, I believe. Let's take a quick look. Yeah, there's Airside Ivan once again taking a lead. This is a little bit of a more commanding lead, it looks like. And then Solo Freighter into the third position there, moving into the end portion. But they are all clumped relatively close together. There's only about 10 seconds, maybe 15 between these racers. 15 seconds with one collision that is done in the wrong place, one collision that's a little bit worse than the other ones. It is very possible to make up that sort of a difference. Here we go, Zis on Fire ending their first lap in second position, and then Solo Freighter. Looks like, unfortunately, these individuals who are in second and third may have been the ones to have those bad collisions, bad crashes. There's Solo Freighter managing to get through the start line without crashing into the brick obstacle, but we do have Airside Ivan in first with 1:25.26, Zis on Fire with 1:40.40, and Solo Freighter with 1:53.50. So, about 27 seconds between everybody. Just taking a quick glance there at what Cyrus is saying to make the time, getting the time a little bit easy. If the first completes his race, it ends 1 minute and 30 seconds later. If someone finishes, he has a max of plus 130. That is absolutely true. Thank you for actually pointing that out, Cyrus. That is a very good point, because I was close to the end of that time. So, let's take a look at that. And it looks like we do have our our website ready. We will take a look at that in a moment. It looks like the end of the second lap is coming up here. We have, oh no, Solo Freighter getting into a crash and looking like they're going to be losing quite a bit of time. Airside Ivan heading through into their third lap. Definitely taking a very commanding lead on this one. I believe, barring anything outrageous, we may be seeing the final positions of our racers here. Is this on fire still here in second place, though? Looks like they might have a chance to push themselves up into that second position overall. Airside Ivan also improving their time, 1 minute 21 seconds, down from 1:25 on that first lap. So they're just picking up the pace. Zis on Fire, unfortunately not able to improve their time, but still there in second place, 1 minute 40 seconds. Here we have Solo Freighter coming through with the end of their second lap. And what is the time that we have for Solo Freighter? Let's hopefully get a quick look here. And it looks like we are not gonna. Oh, 1 minute 44 seconds. So they're making up some time. They are definitely increasing their speed on that second lap. Airsai Ivan, however, still just so far out into the lead. I don't know that Zis on Fire is going to be able to catch them unless they have some miracle, because this is Airsai Ivan traveling into the end of their third lap. There we have it. There is the end of the race. Airsai Ivan just drifting off into the middle of space, coming down to a nice little slow stop, and looks like they might be going. Oh, it looks like they're just reversing back into the starting line to begin their victory lap. Here we have Solo Freighter in third place. Let's see if they can get it done. And there's that race time of Airsai Ivan with 4 minutes, 10 seconds, 32 milliseconds. That is actually not a terrible time. That is quite an impressive time. Looks like we will have Airsai Ivan walking away with the victory on this open class tournament. Here is Zis on Fire. Now this is going to be an interesting moment where we find out what their time is. What was the time of Solo Freighter in their previous map? It is very possible. Well, if Solo Freighter can get finished here, I believe they'll be locking in that, or possibly locking it in. I don't know. Zis on Fire, it looks like we'll have to add their time there to see what this ends up as. But we do have Airsai Ivan with 4:10, 32 milliseconds, Zis on Fire with 4:54, 98 milliseconds, and Solo Freighter just inches away from that finish line, but not able to finish. They did end up with a DNF. So, have we had our scores updated? I do have to refresh. Ah, there we go. Hey, there we go. Look at that. We do have Airsai Ivan with the victory here. And you can now see that we have had this bracket update. This is a beautiful website. All right. Karma Blaster, could I please have you just say some words here?
101. Copy.
And to our audience, can you hear that?
1-1.
There we go. There we go. It is working now. Thank you very much for bearing with us. So, once again, how do you feel after that first race?
The guys like the race. It was very smooth, very intense.
Smooth but intense. Seems like a very good description. That's what I like to hear. What was it like with the new way of doing the racing? Instead of having brackets, we just did the 3 rounds. Did it feel different doing multiple races from what we used to do before?
Как вы считаете, ребята, вот новый формат гонок, где было не по одной гонке, а 3 подряд, он лучше, интереснее? Как
В принципе, все отлично. Усредненный вариант всегда лучше. Хотя и олимпийский метод тоже неплох.
Олег, а ты что думаешь?
Ivan interviewed.
So Ivan says that the new way is the new format of the race is fine, as fine it was before, but the Olympic style was good too. Well, Иван, ладно, а что лучше, по-твоему? Ну, вот так.
Усредненный вариант дает как-то большую характеристику. Ты можешь сравнить результаты каждого заезда. Олимпийский это по факту на выбывание.
Well, the middle variant, when you can compare the results of 3 races, is kind of better. You can see right after the race all the results and make some analytics. Olympic style is more like playoff.
Okay, interesting. Being able to yeah, see those times come in and find some new information from them is definitely very helpful. Oh, that's cool. So,
Thanks.
yeah, of course. Thank you. So, last question. Moving forward in the future, do you think that we will be seeing? Well, what type of racing are you looking forward to more in the future? Are you excited to see more racing ships join the universe?
Что вы думаете о будущем гонок, о том, как они будут проводиться? Ожидаете ли вы, что будут выходить новые корабли для гонок? Ждете?
Появление нового всегда интересно, и мы в любом случае будем участвовать в любых соревнованиях.
Well, one says that everything new is always interesting. Looking forward to make more competitions to join them as I can. Well, Иван,
Да.
Последнее, что ты, пожалуйста.
Будем участвовать во всех соревнованиях.
And he answers here, we will compete and we will take part in all the competitions in the future.
That's great to hear. We are looking forward to more from you, Ersai Ivan, and we're looking forward to much more from Rustek. Thank you very much. Is there anything that you would like to tell your fans or the fans of Star Racing before you go?
Что-нибудь хотите передать вашим фанатам, фанатам гонок, прежде чем закончить?
Не знаю, всем, кто поддерживал, большое спасибо.
Ivan says big thanks to everyone who support and who watched the race.
Excellent. Great to hear. Well, thank you, Ersai, for putting on the amazing show today. And also, thank you, Karma Blaster, for providing our translations. It is extremely helpful to have. Thank you both very much. I hope you have a great afternoon.
Спасибо.
Thank you too.
Wonderful. So there is Ersai Ivan, our wonderful victor from the first set of races today. Hey there. If you enjoyed that and you feel like you still need some adrenaline in your system, feel free to check us out over there at our Twitch, our Twitter, our YouTube, and on our website. Enjoy the races.